I'm Kara Tucker. I'm the editor of ORMS Today in Analytics here at Informed. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment below. I'm here today with Joseph Cazier, who is our Leading in Analytics program professional. How about you introduce yourself?
Okay, great. Kara, first of all, thank you for letting me be here today. I'm Joseph Cazier. I'm the Associate Director of the Center for AI and Data Analytics at Arizona State University. And I'm the architect behind the Leading in Analytics course and the author of the Leading in Analytics book, where I got to interview a whole bunch of people smarter than me and distill their wisdom into a book for best practices on how to succeed in analytics.
Perfect. So you'll be presenting at the Analytics Conference. Your presentation's the title, same as your book, Leading in Analytics, 7 Critical Tasks for Executives to Master in the Age of Big Data. So give us some of the major reasons that cause analytics projects to fail without giving away your entire presentation in your book. What can you tell us?
The reality is, Informs has known for a while why projects fail. And in fact, they're in the analytics body of knowledge. And so if you read that highly great book, that's what inspired my book, as I was reading that for fun and self-improvement. and I came across the chapter 2, which was written by Carl Kemp, my hero, for what he's done at Intel with all the prizes he's won, and also for making my childhood other hero, Superman, fly in the 1980s Christopher Reeves movies. And Carl identified through his experience the 5 manageable tasks in the analytics body of knowledge. And they are: you have to solve a problem that matters. You have to assemble the team that can tackle that problem in an appropriate way and manage them. You have to have access to relevant data that you can use to solve it. You have to use the tools in an appropriate way, and they have to be amenable to the tools. And then you have to execute well. The thing is that if any one of those fail, all of them fail. You have to manage them appropriately to have a chance to succeed, because one failure, all the dominoes fall. And so my job was, I was inspired by that framework, and it rang true with me. And so my job was to take that framework, interview a whole bunch of smart people, including several prominent Informs members and others that had succeeded, and to document sort of their best practices and share them in the course and in the book so more people can succeed. We grew the 5 to 7, because in addition to those 5, you have to be able to repeat your analytics, build a mature process, not just succeed in a given project. And then, of course, ethics, responsibility is more important than ever. And so there's sections on those in both the course and the book.
Yeah. So can you give us one of the major reasons you've seen why analytics projects fail?
If they fail, usually it's a problem with those 5.
Okay.
And when we're talking about failure, it's not that, you could still build a great model and it could be brilliant and it has the potential to save the company or save the world. But it fails to go into production. It fails to give the return and the value that's in there. But any single one of those will cause a failure if they're not managed appropriately.
And that failure rate is significantly high, is it not?
So if you go to my talk, I'm going to share some stats.
Okay.
And there is a Boston Consulting Group, MIT study I cite in there, and there's others that have numbers, within a few percentage points of this one, that according to executives, from the executive view, the people that pay our salaries and invest in our projects, they only counted 11% as successes, meaning almost 90% failed to give the expected value they want. Now, some of that 11% are spectacular successes, right? So it's, in some ways, it's like venture capital.
Right.
But are we going to settle for 11%? If you go through and learn the things that are the best practices, you can get up to about 70, 74, 75%, according to that same study, success rate, which is a lot better transformational success.
Yeah.
And so really that skill to manage those appropriately is critical to learn.
Right. But as you said, not all 90% of the failures are spectacular failures either,
That's true.
right? They still maybe
So
deploy and
they may deploy,
Mhm.
but in the eyes of the people
yes,
that
who it's
sponsor
not
our
what they
projects,
wanted. They didn't get what they asked for.
it's a failure. You may
Yeah.
have built the model perfectly,
hmm
but if it's not executed
Yep.
well,
Right.
but if it fails, then there's little value created, and there's maybe a little dent in the trust
hmm
that we're
Of
trying
course.
to build.
Yeah, and then you won't be asked back for
And
another
and
project.
so you really need to succeed and to build that trust. And AI analytics has so much potential to build a better world.
hmm
You know, we can't afford to keep failing. We have to get this right.
Yeah.
And we need to do so ethically and responsibly to build the world we want to live in.
So is everything you've just told us in these 5, now 7 manageable tasks, this is what is taught in the Leading in Analytics program?
That's right.
Okay.
You get 1 week on each section, and then there's an introduction.
And what else can participants expect to gain from the 8-week curriculum?
So I think for anybody here in Informs, you know, the thing that we have to think about, the only one of those 7 that we directly control as analytics professionals or certified analytics professionals is how we use the tools. All the other 7 tasks take other kind of adjacent people to change, right? Authorizing the problem, supporting the team, even gathering the data. We can clean it, but it's generated usually somewhere else. All of those other tests are someone else. And so it's really about growing in your career from an analytics modeler to an analytics succeeder that can get them into practice. And that leadership, it's a design to take you to the next level of your career to be more effective in leading teams and leading projects and initiatives that actually get out there into practice and succeed. And that's where I think the value is for most of our Informs friends.
Okay, so who would you say should consider enrolling in the Leading in Analytics program and why? Don't say everyone.
Well, I'd like to say everyone.
Yes.
But I think those that would get the best ROI are those that are maybe a few years out from their degree, and they've proven they can model, they've proven that they can do certain things, and they've sort of mastered that one manageable task.
Okay.
It's really important. And they're ready for more. And they want to expand, they want to move up in the organization. And to do that, they have to go beyond the modeling to all those adjacent tasks that we talked about, those other 6 tasks, and succeed. And I would think they would get the greatest ROI. Now, I'd welcome anyone, but that's the group that has the most to gain, is if you're a few years out and you want to go into a leadership role, this will help you get there and this will help you succeed.
Okay. So the Leading in Analytics program is fairly new to Informs anyway.
Yes.
So the first 2 cohorts have completed the courses and graduated from the academy. What can the next cohort expect? Are you guys making any changes? Have you done any trial and error with the first cohort, or do you have any success stories from the first cohort? Whatever you'd like to share.
We are doing some updates, and we are getting success stories. Like I'll help people that take them that talk about, hey, this is going to take me to the next level, and that's what the Vantage, that group that I just talked about. We continually update. We're planning some more interviews and others to add in some more. Technology changes so fast, we have to keep up.
Okay.
And so I think people will be pleased with what they find.
Great. Is there anything else you'd like to share about Leading in Analytics program? Any of the other participants or the instructors that are involved, or anything else you'd like to share, or about CAP?
Well,
and how they might go together.
I love the CAP, and I was talking to somebody in the hallway just a few minutes ago, actually, who was asking about the CAP exam and where this program went, fit into that universe of preparing to be a CAP. I love the CAP program, been a CAP for 8 years. What I see, this isn't going to teach you how to model. It's not going to teach you how to code, but it teaches you the spectrum, much like the CAP is a broad end-to-end solution, right, where you start with the business problem to there. And so this is designed really, in my mind, to teach those other things that CAP, and I see CAP as leaders, need to know
Yeah.
to go beyond the techniques of the modeling to the implementation. And I think this will get you a long ways down that road, both the book, which
Yeah.
is deeper,
Mm-hmm.
and then the course where you hear it directly from the people we interviewed.
Right.
And so I would do both. I would
Yeah.
read the book to get the depth, but sometimes it's nice to hear it right from,
Right.
you know, the CIO of this company or the head AI officer of that company that shared it in their own words, in their own way.
Okay. Would you say the Leading in Analytics program would be a logical next step for a CAP? Or could they be simultaneous, or yours before CAP? Doesn't matter.
I think it should be required for every CAP,
Okay.
frankly, because the CAP is about succeeding, and these are best practices.
Yeah.
And so for continuing education,
Mm-hmm.
if you've got the CAP, it's the next step, may expand your knowledge. But if you're studying for the CAP, I think it, you know, it may not match exactly every job task analysis, and I think those are being updated. But what it
Mm-hmm.
will do is it will give you a broad overview of the step in the process. It's kind of like an executive summary with some detail of here's how to practice each step and how
Right.
to put it into practice.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you so much for joining me today, Joseph. We encourage everybody to check out the Leading in Analytics program and CAP and Joseph's
And the
book
book,
and his
sorry.
presentation. So thanks again. I really appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Thank you, Cara.
Thank you. Aw.